Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Imperial Guard overview guide. That's a bit of a tongue twister right there. Try saying that one 10 times. Anyway, we're here in a skirmish game. I'm going to be showing you everything that you need to know about the Imperial Guard when it comes to their units, when it comes to their vehicles, when it comes to their economy, when it comes to anything unique about this faction. I've got you. So let's jump in. Okay, so here we are inside of our skirmish. Hopefully we don't get harassed by any AI, but if we do, we've got our lovely Baneblade here ready to sort them out. So, what are the Imperial Guard all about? They are all about surviving to the late game. That is the whole game plan here for the Imperial Guard. They're not about the early game. They're not really about the mid game. They're all about that late game where you start to unlock some of your big boys here. You know, you start to unlock your pretty cool vehicles. So that's what they're all about, right? They're not very good in the early game. Their whole game plan is survival, which, luckily for them, they've got some pretty cool buildings to be able to do that, including the infantry command here, which we'll get to in just a second. But first of all, let's start off with our Tech Priest Engineer, who is our builder unit here for the Imperial Guard. So, Field Command is our HQ. And this is where we can train our Tech Priest Engineer as well as our Guardsmen. So, what is inside of our Tech Priest here? Let's have a look. We've got the Field Command, which is our HQ. Then we've got our Infantry Command, which is our barracks building. But this barracks building also acts as a pop space building. So, each Infantry Command increases the squad cap by 6. So that's how you're going to be increasing your population with this faction. And now what else is cool about this building is, wait for this. Boom. You can stick your units inside of it, and you can see we can have 3 squads in here at once. That's not it, right? This thing also shoots when there's enemies nearby, but also, if we click on a different infantry command, or even the field command, or even the mechanized command, which is the vehicle bay here. If we click on this, we can see our squad is down here, and we can transport that unit. So let's click on that. It does take a few seconds, but it will move itself over from this infantry command to this field command. Now this works anywhere on the map. So if you're wanting to get units from one place to another with pretty quick speed, that's your way to do it. So very cool ability here for the Imperial Guard. Not only is it good for keeping your units safe, you know, if they need a quick little getaway, but it's also good for transportation. Let's keep them out over here for now. So what else have we got here with our buildings? We've got the listing post, of course, costing 100 requisition right there. Plasma generator, 165 requisition. So a little bit more on the expensive side, which can hurt this faction, because later stages of the game, this faction uses a lot of plasma, especially with the vehicles. I mean, look at that, 300, 250, 250, 150 for the vehicles. So, you know, that you do have to keep that in mind. Very expensive. Then we've got the Tactica Control, which is this building here, which has got all of our juicy upgrades for primarily the Guardsmen. Lots of upgrades there because your Guardsmen are pretty much your unit for the whole game. So lots of upgrades there to make sure they scale throughout the whole game. Then we have got the Mechanized Command, which is our vehicle bay. We can see, we got a little tank in there, which I can't produce because we are at pop cap. But yeah, this has all of our vehicles in there, which we'll get to in just a second. But let's finish off with the rest of the buildings. Then we've got the Mars Pattern Command. So the way this faction works is it has 2 tiers to the field command. Well, it has 3 tiers actually, sorry. 3 tiers. We can see down here, we're up to the 3rd tier. So to get this this Mars Pattern Command, we actually need to be in the 3rd tier. We also need to get the upgrade that's in here. I've forgotten the name of it. It's like Warpath. That's the name. Warpath. Which unlocks the ability to build the Mars Pattern Command. And in this building, we can produce the Baneblade, which is like the late game Titan, if that's the right word for it. So that's the sole purpose of this Mars pattern command, but very difficult to get to, very expensive to get to. But again, late game faction. And then we've got the thermoplasma generator and the heavy bolter turret and the minefields. So that is our Tech Priest engines here right there. So where do we go next? I think we should go onto the infantry, the guardsmen. So these guardsmen are what we're going to be using throughout the whole game. They don't fall off. Well, they I guess they fall off a little bit, but they're the unit you're going to be using throughout the whole game. Right? They're your scout unit. They're what you use to capture strategic points. They're the unit you're going to have throughout the whole game. So a little bit unique there for the Imperial Guard. Then we have got the heavy weapons team, which will... Oh, we have got one here. Okay. But let's finish off with the guardsmen first. So, what can we actually upgrade with these guys? Because we've got a sergeant, which we can add, which is just your leader. We've got grenade launchers and plasma guns. Grenade launchers, very, very good. They've got very long range. So if you're up against units which have a longer range, grenade launchers are what you're probably going to be wanting to go for. But then we've got this guy here, the Commissar, which we can actually produce from the field command right from tier 1. Now this guy we can actually attach to this squad, and he's got some pretty cool ability. Have a look at this. Execute. Allows you to execute one of your own units. Executing a unit frightens nearby units into fighting harder. Greatly improves the damage of nearby guardsmen. Bang. Look at that. So, more damage, better morale. Very nice little ability there. You are killing one of your guardsmen though, which is going to cost you 20 more requisition to replace. But nice ability. Definitely, definitely an interesting game design choice, but it is what it is, and you can do it again pretty quickly. Bang. So that's pretty much it there for the guardsmen. You're going to be using them throughout the whole game. Then we have got the heavy weapons team. This comes in tier 2. So you have to get to tier 2 to be able to unlock this unit. In tier 1, you've only got access to the guardsman and your commander and your commissar. But in tier 2, you unlock quite a few more units. You've got access to the heavy weapons team right here, which is a nice little unit which we see we can actually unpack and pack. So we can move him about like this. And then we plonk him down right here, and we can see, look at that range damage increase right there. See, very low damage. Bit of melee attack though. But as soon as they unpack, they're able to do a lot more damage. So, very nice for defenses right there. And we can upgrade it with a las cannon and an auto cannon. One or the other. So, nice little upgrade right there as well. Then, we have got access to the Karskin and the Ogrins. Very difficult names to say right there. But anyway. These guys are your extremely late game units. You need to be in tier 3 for these bad boys. But basically, these guys are just your better guardsmen. You are limited to only one squad of each though. Whereas the guardsmen, you can have like as many as you want. So these guys, very much your late game units. Very strong though. We see, look at the range damage. Decent melee. Look, and the main difference is the health. Look at that, 3,000 health on a squad of 6. It's about 500 health per person. Whereas this squad here is at 3,000, and we've got 13 units in there. So much higher health, much higher damage. We see about 3 times the damage as well. Oops, did not mean to. Oh, I've got that on the auto key. Whoops. And then we've got our ogre boys, which. They're a little bit ugly. I'm not exactly sure how these are human, but, you know, I guess there are some ugly people out there, but decent melee attack. Very good melee attack, in fact. But these guys actually count as a vehicle, which is an interesting choice. I mean, I guess they kind of look like a vehicle. I'm not entirely sure, but that is them. These are your late game units. So, moving on to the mechanized command. This is where all of your vehicles are going to be made. We've got the Chimera right here. Now, this guy looks very similar to the Hellhound. But big difference. The Chimera is your transportation unit. It does have a machine gun, or not a machine gun, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess it's a machine gun. A machine gun on top, which we can use to fight as well. But its primary use is going to be transporting units about. Then we've got the Sentinel, which is this guy here. Now, this is your anti-vehicle unit. Not very good at anything else. Effective against aircraft and vehicles. Fast-moving raiding unit that can uncapture strategic points. So, it can actually be used to uncapture strategic points as well, which is very nice. But its main use is going to be your anti-vehicle. Moving on then to the Hellhound. This is like your flamethrower tank. This guy's very cool. Unlocked in tier 2. Let's drop the let it burn ability right there, which just drops a load of fire on the floor. But you can see what the sort of unit it is. Very strong up against big masses of infantry. So a nice little tank unit right there. Okay, now moving on to the Basilisk. This is a very cool, unique unit here for the Imperial Guard, because it's got an interesting ability, let's say that much. And I don't mean this ability here, although this ability is extremely strong. But I'm going to be showing you what I mean by its ability. So let's actually just grab our Chimera here, just for line of sight. We're going to be planting this guy right here. Now, the cool ability about this guy is that it has a stupidly long range. So let's bring our Chimera just to grab some line of sight for us. Maybe bring him forward a little bit more. It's not infinite range, but it's may as well be. So there we go. Bang! Look at that, shooting from all the way back there. Now we are getting slightly destroyed here, but you can see crazy range on that. And you can imagine with a little bit of a mass of these, you can do some really crazy damage. But let's use the ability here, which costs 200 requisition, 200 power. Hopefully we can see it here. Don't want our heavy weapons team to die. Boom! Boom! Look at that. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of enemy units there to actually use it on. But you can imagine if this was in the middle of a massive fight, that would be a pretty crazy explosion. But obviously very expensive. But you can call it in straight again. So very strong ability right there for the Basilisk. Very strong unit. Just very low HP for a vehicle. Then moving on to the Marauder Bomber, which we did just lose because the AI decided to interrupt. But we can... Oh yeah, actually we can just delete this guy. We'll delete him. There we go. There's the Marauder Bomber. Marauder Bomber, very nice little aircraft here. And they have got 3 abilities. They've got the bombing run, incendiary bombs, the crack bombs, drops a series of crack bombs, and then the smoke canisters. So I'm going to show you guys the crack bombs, just because I think this is the best one. So let's drop a bomb on their head. There we go. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Not crazy amounts of damage. I kind of messed it up a little bit. Probably should have aimed towards the back. But they've got a machine gun on there as well. So nice little aircraft right there. 250 power, 125 requisition. Is a tier 3 unit though. Then we've got the Le Mans Russ battle tank, which is like your classic tank, you know. Look at that, 5,000 HP, decent ranged attack. Gonna be great up against buildings. It's basically your shorter ranged Basilisk, but with a lot more HP. So it's going to be good for tanking damage, as it is literally a tank. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a showcase on that as well. Let's bring him over to the Sisters of Battle over here. We see still a decently long-ranged vehicle, but lots of HP. And that's pretty much your tank unit there for the Imperial Guard. So the Imperial Guard don't actually have that many units. They're all about just getting to the late game, unlocking those really strong units. And then we've got the Mars Pattern Command, which, like, this is crazy to get to because it costs... Yeah, we have to get to tier 3, first of all. Then you have to research inside the Mechanized Command Warpath, which is like 400. Then you have to build the Mars Pattern Command, which, let's see how much that costs. 200 requisition, 50 power. And then you have to build the Baneblade, which is, again, 400 requisition, 400 power. But this thing absolutely destroys the enemy. So, you know what? We're just going to march in. Straight in there with the Baneblade. Because we can do that with this bad boy. So, let's bring him over. And, I mean, that's pretty much all that you need to know about the Imperial Guard. Pretty straightforward faction. They are a little bit difficult because your objective is to survive, and obviously later stage of the game is a little bit tricky because, well, it requires more micro, requires more macro. But very fun faction. And look at this Baneblade. I mean, this guy is just so much fun. Unfortunately, they do have some pretty strong units here. Obviously, you're not just going to be marching this in by itself. You are going to be... I mean, the explosions on this thing are just so much fun. But anyway, that's pretty much all that you need to know about the Imperial Guard. If you've got any questions, leave a comment down below. Join the Discord. Ask away. Any questions you got, I will be replying in there. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys for some build orders for this faction in maybe a couple days' time. We'll see. But anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one.